I'm excited for this season of Rocket Motivation because my firm, Hand, Arundel, Harrison Sale, Attorneys at Law, where I am a partner, is our sponsor. We understand life and running a business can be challenging, but with the right support, it can also be incredibly rewarding. That's why we're thrilled to announce our partnership with Hand, Arundel, Harrison Sale.
Before the wreck, I could have cared less about anything. I didn't care about people. I didn't care about nothing. All I wanted to do was race, party, and act crazy. Took things for granted, and then something like that happens. That was God's way of telling me that you ain't never going to wake up the same. And that's just been the biggest thing, just talking to people when difficult things in life happen, letting them know that, hey, just because you're going through something right now bad doesn't mean you're not going to come out on the other side better. In time, this too shall pass. You don't take any day that you get for granted anymore.
Hey everyone, this is Rod Cate and welcome to this week's episode of Rocket Motivation Podcast. In April 2012, when this week's guest was 36 years old, he was involved in a horrific automobile accident. He had multiple broken bones, was on life support, and had his left leg amputated above the knee. He was told by his doctors he would never walk again. 9 months later, he competed in a Tough Mudder to prove his doctors wrong. His injury opened his eyes as to what life is all about. He tells a great story of overcoming. Scott Ashley, welcome to Rocket Motivation Podcast.
Hey man, thank you. Appreciate it. Glad to be on today.
Okay. Hey Scott, so let's do this. Tell us where you are now in your life, where you live, what you do, family, kind of just catch us all up.
All right. Yeah, no problem. Currently, I'm regional IT manager for a automobile OEM, automotive supplier. We build for Ford, Bronco, the truck series out of the Rockford facility I have. We manage a lot of Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Russellville, Kentucky products for the Corvette, and Mercedes-Benz out of my plant here in my home base in McCalla. I live in McCalla, Alabama, right outside of Tuscaloosa and Birmingham. And man, married, 2 kids, got a wonderful grandbaby that keeps us on our toes, and loving living life.
All right, man. Sounds good. All right. So Scott, let's go back. April 22nd, 2012. Tell us what happened.
Yeah. Coming home from my parents' house, car broke, lost control of it, flipped, hit a tree. Everything changed in a split second. Don't remember a whole lot about that night. As far as, after the wreck much. I remember the helicopter. I remember being put on the helicopter. But next thing I know, it was 6-7 weeks later, however long later, when, you wake up and everybody's kind of looking at you weird and you're, hey, what's going on? I had 76 rods, screws, and plates. Lost my left leg above the knee. Crushed all my ribs, steering column went through and pushed everything out through the backside. And I had a tethered spinal cord from it. So yeah, it was tough. It was a lot to build back from, but hey, here we are.
Yeah. All right. So let's, so when you finally, you kind of come to and you realize, I guess really how banged up and how injured you are, kind of what's going through your head at that point?
For me, man, I was very active. Did motocross, loved racing cars, just anything speed related. I was all about. And when something like this happens, you immediately think that nothing you love to do, you'll be able to do again. So you have to digest it. But at the same time, you're blessed because you get to wake up and think about it. So it is a very strong moment, I guess, to put it lightly. But you have to accept it. I mean, it is what it is. And you've got one of 2 things you can do. You can get up, move forward in life, or you can give up. And I don't do that.
Yeah. And so what's the first thing you did as far as moving forward in life? I mean, right now, so you lost your left leg above the knee, you got all these other injuries. How was it that you first, got up out of the bed and started moving forward?
Oh, wow. For several months after the wreck, I had home nursing every day. I had a bed, a hospital bed set up in the living room with all kind of stuff, hooked to it. And, and that was for a while. That was for a long time. The wreck was in April. I think August is August or September is the first time I actually tried to get up. Because of the spinal injury, I had no feeling in my right leg. I mean, couldn't pick my foot up, nothing. Nothing worked. And at the time, they're telling you that you just need to accept it. You're probably not going to get that back. And that's another thing you have to deal with. But slowly but surely, the spinal cord started to come back, straighten out. And one night I woke up, it felt like I'd been hit by a battery, a big shock.
Right.
And I could start to feel things again. And man, once that happened, I just put it in myself that, you know what, these doctors and professional people who are supposedly, know everything, they're not going to be the ones that tell me I'm going to lay in a bed the rest of my life. Right. I'm going to push, and we're going to get going. And it was the hardest thing I ever had to do. But hey, love it. I'm glad that I got there.
Yeah. All right. And so you're up, you get out. I guess you got to get a prosthetic for your left leg to get going. So kind of take us through, because I know, you do that tough, you finish it or compete in a Tough Mudder. Well, first of all, everybody doesn't know what a Tough Mudder is. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, they still kind of do. They're not as big and popular as they were, but about right when I was coming through this, they would have these cross-country like mud climbing over stuff, Spartan race, Tough Mudders, just, these, not really trying to think of the word that I'm looking for. It's kind of like a cross trek, so to speak. But I don't know. I met a guy at Biotech Lemon Brace, Noah Galloway. And, you go through your struggles when you're first getting out of your wheelchair and you don't think you're going to be able to do anything anymore. And when you meet someone else that has overcome those things, you kind of start to realize that, hey, I'm the only person that can dictate whether I give up or not. And it's up to me to do this. So just started pushing therapy harder, working out harder. And one of my friends at the time, he was like, hey, why don't you do the Tough Mudder that's coming up to Coleman, Alabama this fall? I'm like, dude, seriously, I have one leg. Why would I go do a tough? He's like, just to piss everybody off that said you couldn't get out of bed. And that became my driving force. I just wanted to show everybody, number one, prove the doctors and stuff wrong. But number two, show people that just because something like this takes place, you don't stop. You don't give up. You're not done until you say you're done.
Yeah. Well, and so you complete it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We made it through it. Okay. That was miserable. But it was fun. It was a blast. I broke 2 carbon fiber feet that day, tore up my prosthetic. And that was kind of when the joke with Biotech Lemon Brace came in, that if any prosthetic developer, whether feet, limbs, knees, sockets, if they've got one they say is indestructible, Eric would give it to me because he knew I would destroy it.
And that's the person you want to be, isn't it? The one who... You want to be the person
Absolutely.
That is going to destroy prosthetics because you're so dang active.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Too hard-headed to quit, man.
Yeah. Well, and so when you finish it, did you have a little conversation with your doctors that told you to never get out of the wheelchair?
I loved it. Walked in and showed them the pictures and told them, hey, maybe from now on, you don't need to tell people that they can't walk again. And that's what they need to accept, because not everybody has that mindset. You meet a lot of people going through this, and I've met a ton of people who want to give up. Actually helped a little kid that was about 18 years old, was in a motorcycle wreck, lost his leg, thought he'd never be able to do anything again. Tried a couple of times to overdose, to whatever, just wanted to end it. His mom got in touch with me through Biotech, and she said, hey, Eric gave me your number. He said, he told me if anybody could get my son out of the bed, it would be you. So went and picked this kid up, didn't know him at all. Asked him if he would just go spend an afternoon with me. Took him to lunch. After lunch, I asked him, I said, hey, I got a new dirt bike in. You mind if I stop by and look at it and test it out and make sure it's ready? Well, that upset him because he loved riding motorcycles. And he still at this point didn't realize I had a prosthetic leg because I had blue jeans on. And so I went in, changed my pants inside the garage so he didn't see me, came riding out on the bike, hit the track, jumped a couple of jumps, came back, put it up, put my pants back on, got in the car with him. And he got upset. He's like, I don't know why you would bring me here knowing that what happened to me and I'm never going to be able to ride again. And I pulled my pants leg up and I said, okay, why not? And that kid and I have stayed in touch. He owns a glass company now. He's married, got a beautiful wife and daughter. And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Well, I
if
guess
you can help anybody.
Yeah. And I guess sometimes people, like you said earlier, they need to see somebody succeed and not give up.
Yep.
I mean, I think that's
right.
very important. Now, you also do some stuff for a company called Amp Life. What's that all about?
Amp Life Mobility. That is a cool set of guys. They own a clothing company, and it's for people with prosthetics, disabilities. Got in touch with them about a year ago, maybe 8 months ago. And man, everybody involved with that company is the exact mindset that, I don't know if it's an amputee thing or I don't know if we're just all crazy, but they all have that same drive. They want to get out. They want to show the world that, hey, just because I've lost this or this or this or going through this doesn't mean I'm going to stop living. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop enjoying my, every day. And man, they do it. The owner, he's all over the place playing golf. You've got several of the guys race cars, motorcycles, all kind of stuff. Just great group of people.
Yeah. Now, do you also race cars now?
We have a 2019 C7 Corvette that I've been building, getting ready. We want to do the SCCA racing this season with it. So, yeah, I still got the bug. I don't know if I'm just too hard-headed to learn, but well, hey, there you go. Just keep living.
Yeah, and tell us. I mean,
never give up.
Yeah. What about your job? The people that work with you or for you. Of course, I guess most of them know you. Are a left leg amputee. Do they treat you different? Do they? I mean, how does that work? In the job setting.
Well, I mean, half of them for months never even knew. One guy didn't know until I broke a bolt in my foot one day and was taking it apart to fix it. And he was like, "Dude, I just looked down and you had your foot in your hand. I didn't know what happened." And I'm like, I broke it. I had to fix it. But man, it doesn't define me. I mean, I'll run up the ladders and pull cable through tops of buildings and helping them. I'll build new facilities, get cars produced off the end of the line. And hey, if you're going to outrun me, you better get with it. So, but no, it's, they all know me too. They know I'm too hard-headed to slow down.
All right. Scott, so how has, your accident, how would you say it's changed your life?
It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
And explain that.
As crazy as that may sound. Some people I tell that to, and they just look at me like I've fallen out of the sky. Before the wreck, I could have cared less about anything. I didn't care about people. I didn't care about nothing. All I wanted to do was race, party, and act crazy. Took things for granted, and then something like that happens. That was God's way of telling me that you ain't never going to wake up the same. You take everything more serious. You appreciate life. You appreciate people. Every morning you wake up, you're going to have to deal with this. You're just going to hurt. You're going to have days that everything hurts, but you're here to do it. And go out, find somebody somewhere that's having a bad day. Let them know it's going to be okay. Let them know that, you know what? In time, this too shall pass. You're going to get through these things. And that's just been the biggest thing. Just talking to people when difficult things in life happen, letting them know that, hey, just because you're going through something right now bad doesn't mean you're not going to come out on the other side better.
Yeah. Well, and it's a similar question, but a little different. The last one was, how does the accident change your life? How does it change? How does it change the way you look at life?
You appreciate it. You don't take it for granted anymore. You don't take any day that you get for granted anymore. Of course, we all still have days that we're going to be, have bad moods, and we're human. That's just part of it. But you don't look at anything the same. It is, like I said, it was the best thing that happened. It teaches you to slow down a little bit. It teaches you to appreciate the ones you have in your life. And it taught me to just appreciate every day. I mean, you're not guaranteed tomorrow. Nobody is. So if God let you get up today, man, get up and kick that day's ass and enjoy it. Yeah. That's what it's about.
Yeah. Hey, did you ever have when you were probably, back lying in the hospital or before you got going? I mean, did you ever have the, kind of why me, feeling sorry for yourself time?
Oh, yeah, Absolutely. Absolutely. Because at first, like I said, the doctors were telling me that I would never be able to be mobile again. I'd be either in a wheelchair or, on canes and, walkers. And I wouldn't be able to do any of the things I did before. And I can understand sometimes why they say that, because they see it all the time, I guess. That was the difficult thing, because like I said before, you've got the choice to listen to them, let them dictate how you are going to handle it. And if you do that, a lot of them will tell you, look, you're going to be stuck in this wheelchair. You just need to accept that, move on, and get used to living your life that way. No.
Well, and when you were having the why me, feeling sorry for myself type moments, I mean, how'd you break out of it?
My kids. Yeah. I didn't want to give up for them. I wanted them to see that no matter how hard this got, we're going to make it. We're going to come through it. I mean, I lost everything. I was out of work for a year almost. Lost everything. So you have to rebuild, not only physically, mentally, but financially, career-wise. You have to rebuild from everything. And that was my driving force. I did not want them to look at me and see that I gave up.
What do you want out of life, or what do you want to get out of life now?
Everything I can. This is what I love to do, man. I love to see people succeed. Whether it's my employees that work for me, whether it is friends, family, I love to see people do better. And you just get a passion you want to help others. You want to be here, and not necessarily saying you're going to be an inspiration every day, but you want to just show people that, hey, you can do anything you put your mind to.
I gotcha. So through all this, what have you learned about yourself?
You should ask my wife that question.
Is she around?
No, unfortunately, no, she's not. She went to actually get the little baby granddaughter. Yeah. Now, what I've learned about myself, never give up. I made it through things that I did not think was possible. And being able to prove that to friends and family and let others see you come through that and come through it in a positive direction and help others afterwards, that's what I want. I love to, like I said, I love to meet people and talk, someone struggling. Hey, let's get through this.
And what advice do you give when you meet people that are struggling? And people can be struggling for all different reasons. Like, for instance, you already told us a story about the kid who was the amputee,
yeah,
who you helped out. But separate and apart from just someone else who's an amputee, some people that are just struggling, life can be tough. That are just struggling.
Absolutely.
Just in general.
Absolutely.
I mean, based on what you've been
everybody's
through, yeah, go ahead. Well, what advice would you give them?
I mean, like you said, everybody's struggle. To them, that is their big struggle. It may not be a limb loss or a major car accident. It can be a divorce. It can be a relationship having a tough time, finances having a tough time. That is their battle. It doesn't make it any bigger or any smaller. And just to try to be positive. Hey, I know it sucks right now. Trust me. I know right now you're looking at this and you don't see a way out. You don't see it getting any better, but I promise you it will get better. I promise you, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not even the day after or a week from now, but it's going to get better. Just keep pushing forward, stay positive when you can. And that's one thing I believe my friends and family know about me. I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning. If you need me, let me know.
Yeah,
I'll be there, because that's a lot of times that's tough times for people. We've got a friend of ours going through a bad relationship. He came over the other night. He just walked in and looked at me. He goes, I need one of your life lessons. I'm like, all right, let's sit down and talk. He's like, out of everybody I could think of, I wanted to come talk to you because you're not going to let me sit here and cry and give up over this crap. And I went, nope, let's go sit down.
Well, and that's got to be, I would think, for you, a good feeling when somebody's really, down and needs some help and needs some advice, that they see what you've been through and they see how you've overcome this. So you're the guy. You're the guy they want to talk to. I mean, that's got to give you some personal satisfaction.
It does. It does. But you have to appreciate that as well. You can't go out here and live crazy and do things that are not right and act in ways that are not positive for your image, because then they just look at you and go, well, he's still a dumbass or he doesn't care. And you got to be mindful of that as well. I can't go out here and tell someone that, you know, you're going to make it through this. Life's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. And then me go live a completely opposite way.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I said before, hey, we all have days. We're going to fail. We're going to do dumb stuff. We're going to make mistakes. But it's the fact that you learn from those in a different way, and you hold yourself accountable.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think, I don't think there's a day that goes by that I either will do something dumb or at least think of doing something dumb. but
I do something dumb all day, all the time, all the time.
Yeah.
My wife, Ashley will look at me sometimes and just shake her head like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
But hey, that's it's fun.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, Scott, if somebody wants to get in touch with you or follow you, like I know you're on social media, how could they do that?
Yeah, I've got Facebook, also Instagram, and I've got some links to my ambassador page through Amp Life.
Yeah,
I can send those to you guys and get them out there. And but yeah, hit me up and keep up with all the stuff we're doing.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to send you a friend request, just to Scott Ashley, would that do it on Facebook?
Yep. Okay. That'll work. Yeah. And if, like you said earlier, the Amp Life page, if they go to the amplife.com, you can go to the ambassadors page and you'll see everybody that's associated with the company. They can hit every one of my Facebook, Instagram links from there as well.
Oh, that's awesome then. Scott, I really want to thank you so much for coming on. You know, I need to, I'll give your sister a thanks, tomorrow when I'm back in the office because she's the one who set us up together. Because, man, you've been a fantastic guest. I mean, you just epitomize what Rocket Motivation Podcast is all about. All about, dealing with and overcoming adversity in a positive way and helping others, because that's the reason I do this podcast. I want to help others that are struggling so they can listen to people that have been through the fire and have come out the other side. And you've just given some great advice and life lessons. And so, man, this is exactly what it's all about.
And you mentioned her, my sister. She was a rock through every bit of this. So she was there from the moment I didn't want to keep going. She's the one that told me I lost my leg. And all I could say to her was, well, I guess I'm a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest now. And that's just us, man. She was not going to let me give up. And, dude, I owe her everything. She was amazing through that entire process. And she didn't have to be. Yeah. But, hey, you know her. She's definitely the strong in the family. So, yeah.
Well, but Scott, I always give the guest the parting shot. So, kind of give us something else. I know, man, you've given so much words of wisdom and advice and just great advice to get through life and enjoy life, but kind of dig deep and take us home with one more thing.
Never give up. That is my saying. I don't care what it is. Whether it's your job, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your friendships, don't give up. Never give up. If it's important to you and it's important to your life, never give up. You'll get so much satisfaction when you see it from the other side and know you made it through it and you didn't give up. That's what it's all about.
Well, Scott, again, thanks so much for coming on. It's been my pleasure, and we'll talk to you soon.
Rod, thank you, man. I appreciate it. It was great. I had a good time and enjoyed it.
What a great episode with Scott Ashley. He clearly did not let his injuries and amputation affect his life in a negative way. Actually, it's been the opposite, and what happened to him changed his life in a positive way. What a great story of inspiration. We'll have another great guest next week. See you then. Thanks again for listening to Rocket Motivation. I want to again thank our sponsor, my law firm, Hand Arundel Harrison Self, with offices in Mobile, Birmingham, Fairhope, and Athens, Alabama, and Destin, Panama City Beach, and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. We are uniquely situated among the Southeast major law firms to provide legal direction to clients throughout Alabama and Northwest Florida. So whether you're looking for legal advice, litigators, or simply a partner you can trust, Hand Arundel Harrison Sale is there for you. Thank you for listening, and be sure to check out Hand Arundel Harrison Sale for all your legal needs. Visit our website at handfirm.com. And if you would like to get my book, Get Back Up, It's available at Amazon. Just put in Get Back Up and my name, Rod Cate, and the book will pop up. I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to Rocket Motivation wherever you listen to your podcasts. And please rate and review the shows and spread the word about Rocket Motivation to your friends. So until next time, remember, never give up and always get back up.